kind of relationship with people, places, or things. And I'm giving people an understanding on how to create a valuation. And what does that mean? A lot of companies and organizations call me from time to time, even in my old life when I worked in corporate America, to assess the risk of an organization. Why do you want to assess the risk? You want to understand whether or not that system, that organization has risk, whether it's information technology risk, whether it has human capital risk, whether it has reputational risk. When you start to understand the risk of the organizations that you deal with, the risk of the people that you interact with, you start to make better decisions about how you want to interact with them. And what does that really mean for you? When you start looking at all the things that are being placed out in social media today, when we look at all the things that are in the news about people's affiliation with a certain group of people that may have association with lower vibrational energy, that risk, that database of individuals that connects and says, hey, this person has associations with this kind of people, then the valuation of the organization may take a hit. That's brand damage. Reputation management is something that we do at Black Alchemy. What more specifically I want to illuminate to you is when you have an organization that doesn't really pay attention to the material risk, the association risk, the social risk that its institution and its brand child can have, especially when it's publicly facing, you're looking at a company or organization that's going to take a hit in the long run without a shadow of a doubt. So I wanted to give you some insights on that. Why am I speaking about risk? Why am I speaking about all of these associations? Because these Epstein files and a lot of these other things that you're seeing in the news, they're going to have names. They're going to have individuals that have associations with people, places, and things that may not align with the religious ideology or just the associative relationships that other people have. They don't want to have that kind of comminglement. So when you start looking at how people are interacting with one another, what they want to align with, you have to say to yourself, well, what do they really stand on? How are they really communicating? And do they really stand on the values that they say they have? When you start looking up people's names and you start saying, okay, well, I don't want to invest in an organization or have any kind of relationship with an organization that may have associations with the situation that we see in the news today. Why? Because 5 years from now, I want to run for president. 5 years from now, I want to be a gubernatorial candidate. 2 years from now, I want to do X, Y, and Z. When you start looking at the future of how people want to associate themselves, they start to look at things now. They start saying things, oh, well, if I associate now and align myself with this party or this group of people, 4 years from now, that's going to have an impact to my brand, my reputation, my standing. How much credibility will I have if I'm associated with these kinds of people? You need to make very, 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 very big time to associate yourself with understanding management and brand reputation. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. Oh, yeah. Does anybody up in Instagram want to have any questions? That was just